Hi, I'm Kesenya, and welcome to Guiding Star Astrology. I'm your Astro Weather Girl here with this week's Astro Weather Report for you. Before we get going and looking at this fabulous sky that's waiting for us this week, I do want to just say a big thank you to all the beautiful people who've contacted me to see if I'm okay here in Australia with the bushfires that we have raging throughout a lot of our countryside. I am okay. I live about 10 hours from where the nearest fire fronts are, but everything is quite tinder dry in Australia this year, very early on in the season actually. So thank you for your care and concern. I felt very humbled, really humbled by the compassion of so many of my clients and my now friends who got in touch. So thank you. Well, what's going on in the astral skies? Quite a bit. This week we're coming off the back of Mercury cazimi, which is when Mercury becomes conjunct with the Sun. However, this has been a special one because we are in the transit of Mercury, and this happens only 13 times a year, where Mercury moves from our vantage point on Earth across the face of the Sun. And this happened on the 11th of November. It wasn't visible in Australia, so we missed out this time, but if you were in the rest of the world and had the chance to view it, lucky you. It is a very rare occurrence to see Mercury moving across the face of the Sun. Happens only 13 times a century, roughly. The other thing that we're coming off the back of this week is the Taurus full moon, which I spoke about in my video last week, which has connections to the upcoming conjunction that we're all anticipating in January with Pluto and Saturn. So if you checked that out, that video last week, it would have told you all about how that might be influencing things over the next few months in readiness for that very significant conjunction that we're all anticipating. It was at very similar degrees and affecting. Now this week we've got something really special. I'm so excited about this. This is a once in 12 year occurrence that we're looking forward to this week. In fact, on the 18th of November. So we're looking about in 7 days time from when I'm recording this. It's going to be really exciting. What is it? It's Jupiter being conjunct with the Galactic Center. Now, Jupiter takes 12 years to travel all the way around the horoscope. Here he is up here. He takes 12 years to go all the way around. Currently, as those of us who follow astrology will know, he is in his own sign of Sagittarius up here, the sign that Jupiter rules, and he has been moving steadily across here for roughly a year now. Now, he is going to actually be conjunct with 27 degrees of Sagittarius on the 18th of November, and that is the degree of the Galactic Center, although we do allow a wider orb of about roughly 10 degrees for the Galactic Center. It's got quite a big orb, and that's because it's super powerful. I'll talk about what the Galactic Center is in just a minute. But as I said, first time in 12 years or that this is going to be activated, and it has certain spiritual meanings for us that we'll talk about, and we'll look at how it will affect each sign shortly. But what's really interesting is that there's some not only Jupiter at the Galactic Center, but we're getting some beautiful energetic support for this as well. We have a lovely little sextile here to Mars. Mars is at the latter degrees of Libra when this is occurring, and of course the Galactic Center at 27 degrees, the latter degrees of Sagittarius. So this is quite exciting to get a bit of energetic support from Mars. So whatever is represented by, and we'll talk about this for each sign, by the conjunction of Jupiter with the Galactic Center in your life, is you're going to get a lot of energy around it, a lot of momentum that you can put towards it, a lot of enthusiasm, a lot of ideas, a lot of creativity that comes from this kindly sextile from Mars. Not only that, but there is also a beautiful trine occurring from Uranus here as well. So that lovely trine from Uranus is also giving a lot of sudden downloads, epiphanies, new insights, wisdom that will also be activated by the connection of these two planets with a lovely healthy trine. You might find yourself getting some sort of magical downloads of information about your life, or messages for humanity. Your intuition will be heightened. You might be getting really prophetic sort of feelings within you, and information to share. Jupiter is higher wisdom, higher knowledge, and Uranus is those sudden electric-like downloads of information that are very scientifically based and exciting, things that create freedom and liberation and truth in the souls of human beings. So this is a beautiful connection that is going to be made. So Jupiter is currently within the orb of the Galactic Center, but the actual conjunction will be occurring on the 18th. Now, astronomically, the center of our galaxy, the Milky Way Galaxy, is actually a big black hole. It's a supermassive black hole, and it radiates and pulses out energy throughout the solar system. Throughout the whole galaxy, actually. And our solar system happens to be on a spiraling arm, the Orion arm of the Milky Way Galaxy, as the galaxy spirals around and around and around this black hole. We, our solar system and the Earth, we are actually 27,000 light years. So the speed light travels take 27,000 years of traveling at the speed of light to get to the center of our Milky Way Galaxy, to get to this black hole. It's a long way away, but we still feel the effects because this black hole is so powerful with the energy that it emits. And back in the 1930s, scientists discovered, almost accidentally actually, this energy, this pulsing energy through radio waves emitting from the black hole at the center of our galaxy. We have theorized and known about black holes and their existence for years and years, but it's only in the last year or so that we've actually observed a black hole being formed. Scientists have observed this happening. So it's interesting times now in terms of science and their discoveries, their further discoveries about black holes, their effects on things, what they represent. And as with every planetary discovery, it often correlates to what is happening here on the Earth. So we've known about it in theory, but since the discovery and observation of, that scientifically proves the existence of a black hole, now we're going to see the effects play out more in humanity. For example, let me give you an example that's tangible. Back in the 1930s, there was a lot of trauma and angst and frustration building on the Earth. We had the rise of Nazism, we had the Great Depression, and joblessness and homelessness were quite rife, poverty through the Great Depression. So we had the beginning also of the nuclear age and the development of nuclear power. So what was discovered in the 1930s? Hello, it was Pluto, which correlates to nuclear power. It rules nuclear power, it rules trauma, it rules crisis, it rules power and control, domination, the dark side. All of these things are what Pluto rules, and it was discovered at a time when humanity was going through these pretty intense processes connected to power, connected to crisis, and we then bled into the Second World War that resulted from these things. So similarly, we have only recently actually scientifically put the thumbprint on the fact that there is black holes existing in the universe. Even though we've known about it for many, many years, it has only just been scientifically proven. So it will be fascinating to observe what this will now, what effect we will now see on the Earth as a result of this knowledge, this new insight, this new wisdom regarding black holes and their effect. Because in the words of Hermes, as above, so below. What happens out in the universe, not just the solar system, but out in the universe and the great beyond, affects our lives here on planet Earth. It affects us in terms of our collective consciousness, and it affects us in terms of our personal consciousness. So we are in interesting times now. Astrologically, the Milky Way, and astronomically as well actually, the black hole at the center of the Milky Way is considered to be the cosmic womb. And in science, that is exactly what happens. It's from this cosmic womb that all like gas and dust and particles are spewed out to create new stars, new solar systems, new things that come out that have essentially created us many, many millions of years ago. Some theorists even propose that it is a portal. A black hole is a energetic portal to other realms, other dimensions even. But I'm not willing to go test that. If you are, good luck to you and your 27,000 light year journey to get there to find out. But it is, like I said, that the definition is that it is a cosmic womb, a birthing place for new life. It's where the physical and the spiritual collide, actually. It's where those realms meet, where death and rebirth occurs. I mean, if you think about it, if you were to travel 27,000 light years and go to the black hole and enter into the black hole, you would be crushed to oblivion. But who's to say that you would not be reborn out the other side into some kind of other dimension, other realm, into new life of some sort, because a black hole creates and destroys. So this is the center of our galaxy, where this massive, monstrous black hole exists, is where death and rebirth occurs. A bit like Pluto in many regards in that way, but it's the combination of physical and spiritual, death and rebirth. The end of one cycle and the beginning of another is represented by this galactic center of our universe. It is a portal of truth, because not only is there a black hole there that is dynamic and changing the universe on a regular, like moment by moment basis, but there are masses of red giant stars conglomerating around this black hole. Red giant stars and supergiant stars that are at this core giving off energy and emitting energetic information that booms out to the rest of the galaxy, not the solar system, bigger than the solar system. And that we receive this information through our crown chakra. Now, for example, our sun is just a small star. It's pretty medium size. But we all know the punch that it packs. If you're outside on a summer's day, if with my skin any longer than 20 minutes, you end up, burnt to a crisp. We can feel the energy of our star on our bodies, even with, the protection of the ozone layer and the protection of the atmosphere and so forth. We still get that energy of the sun impacting us. And these monster stars at the center of our galaxy are also emitting energy all the time out to all the ends of the Milky Way Galaxy. And the theory in spiritual terms is that we receive this energetic information, these energetic downloads through our crown chakra, and it can then flow through our whole body, through the chakra system. And now we get to Jupiter. Jupiter is the largest planet in our solar system, and Jupiter very nearly became a secondary star itself in a binary system with our sun. It didn't quite get there though. It didn't quite have enough oomph, but it packs a powerful punch. If you've ever jumped online and observed Jupiter's magnetosphere in illustrations, it is mind-boggling, the power that this planet is emitting. So it's the biggest planet in the solar system. It carries enormous influence energetically as well, especially as it's so much closer to us than the Galactic Center is. But Jupiter is the representation of our blessed karma, the result of our good karmic deeds. So wherever Jupiter sits in your own personal chart will tell you a great deal about your good karma, your rewards for kindly endeavors in past lives, for your compassion, for your generosity, for your optimism and your buoyancy in past lives, for the good things you've done for others, as well as the kind things you've done for yourself as well. Your good karma is seen by Jupiter's placement. If we were to contrast this with Saturn crossed the Galactic Center about 2 years ago now. And when he did, Saturn represents difficult karma. He's the karma of our phobias and our fears and our blockages in life. And when he crossed the Galactic Center, I have to say that in my life and in a lot of the clients that I have and my friends' lives, what I observed was that difficult karma came back. Difficult karma was born for us to deal with and confront. And I've been dealing with this, and you've been dealing with this. We've all been dealing with this ever since Saturn crossed the Galactic Center 2 years ago. We might have had, well, in my instance, I'll use me as an example, but Sagittarius, where the Galactic Center falls, is in my 10th house of career. And when Saturn crossed that point, the karma regarding career was felt in my life, and I went through a lot of upheaval and restructuring and reorganizing with my career from the moment Saturn crossed the Galactic Center. I resigned from a position that actually gave me a lot of financial help, shall we say, and then I went through a really rocky ride dealing with very karmic employers. Not good karma, I might add as well, that needed to be resolved and worked through and play out for whatever purpose. That's what I went through as a result of Saturn crossing the Galactic Center. And I've seen that in the lives of my friends as well. Suddenly they plunged into almost an underworld experience, or that outer circumstances were fine in their lives and everything was, okay on the surface, but inwardly they went through this very karmic process of purging and releasing and letting go of and addressing their fears. Paranoia's popped up. Where's that coming from? I don't know what that's all about. What was going on was Saturn being triggered, or the energies combining the past life difficult karma of Saturn, the karmas that have to do with fears and limitations and blockage and restriction, were activated by the connection to the Galactic Center, which in Saturn's case happens once every 30 years. And because of that, there was then need to address our past life karma that was more difficult, that was more challenging, that was a result of mistakes in past lives or early this life. And that's what cropped up with Saturn. Now we're entering into the phase of good karma, because that's what Jupiter represents. And Jupiter is about to crack on with the Galactic Center. We're going to see some good karma and the results of the good deeds we've done start to manifest more and more now. Hopefully for me, that means career-wise, things are going to be, there will be rewards in career realm, because that is the realm Sagittarius falls in for me. But I'm going to go through all signs and we're going to look at this in a bit more depth. But Jupiter's now giving us this direct line to consciousness if we choose to channel it into our lives right now. And this will happen on the 18th of November. So if we choose to pay attention and to receive the blessings of our past life karma, some people shut that out for whatever reason. They like to stay stuck and lost in their outworn attitudes or their beliefs, and so they keep coming back in many lifetimes to repeat the lessons and to grow and to learn in their own way and in their own time, which is why we need to give a lot of patience and tolerance to people who haven't quite stepped up the ladder of enlightenment, perhaps as we might have. We have to be patient with them. They're on their journey. They're going through their process. It's all about when their heart and their soul is ready to receive the energetic information. And in this case, it's going to be the good stuff. So I know I want to be ready as much as possible. I'll talk about that now. What can we do in this upcoming week, getting ready for 18th of November, to prepare for this crossing? Well, we can spend this week clearing our outworn karmic behaviors, if you like, to create space for the new blessings to enter in. Now, how do we do this? How do we create space? How do we clear our outworn, unwanted old karma? How do we get rid of it? Well, there are many methods. There are actually a lot of methods that we can employ. Doing chakra clearing, if you're into that sort of thing, I would highly recommend it. You could see a Reiki practitioner or an energy healer that would really help resolve past life blockages and layers that come up in, say, our heart or in our, sacral chakra, wherever the issues for you happen to be. It's a great week for getting in on that in preparation for receiving. Because when you make space in life, then you're open to receiving the good energy, if that's what you're desiring, to flow in. So chakra clearing this week, if you get the chance, go for it. If you get the chance to do some sort of past life regression, where you go back to a wounding situation in life, that's also a really good thing to do, because it's in going back to these wounding situations that you gain a new perspective. It's not that reliving them sets you free. It's that you go back, just say you were wounded as a child and you were abused or something horrible happened, and through hypnotherapy and regression work, you go back to that point in time and you see it through the eyes of an adult. And in doing so, it's unraveled and it dissolves, and it no longer has power and mastery over you because of what you saw, what you perceived as a child. It doesn't mean that the abuse was any less horrific, but it means that in revisiting it with the eyes of an adult, the heart of an adult, and the wisdom of what you carry in your life now, you can dissolve that. So hypnotherapy, regression work, excellent this week in preparation for this as well. Any type of prayer and meditation will take you into that space as well. The old C.S. Lewis saying, which was, prayer doesn't change God, it changes me. And that's what it's for. It's not designed to sort of convince God, let me win $1 million in Tats Lotto. It's designed to purify your heart, as is meditation. They're very similar. So in doing so, you can purify your heart, you can self-examine, you can make realizations, you can feel the energetic support of the divine through prayer and meditation. And in doing so, you create space in your life for the good things to enter in. So that's another thing you can do. Any kind of therapy is a great idea as well. That can be, and I say this often, I'm a big therapy advocate, but that could be things like, art therapy, get your painting kit out. I love to sew. That's therapy for me. I lose track of time when I'm sewing. I go into my zone. It's actually my meditative zone to be on the sewing machine. But art therapy, creative work, dance therapy, journaling, writing letters, theoretical letters to people who've hurt you in the past. You don't have to send them. You don't even have to, keep them. You can burn them if you want to, but writing out your inner thoughts and feelings is a therapeutic process of purging. All of these little tricks that can be very helpful and supportive for us in resolving inner issues, inner work, which is what therapy is. It's going deep, looking at what's within, letting it come out and be expelled. One other thing we can do is to put energetic protections in place to guard us against bullying, guard us against other entities and life forces that continually pop up in our lives and keep on dragging us down. So a simple way to do that might be to use a visualization technique, such as imagining a force field around you. If you get a phone call again from that annoying ex who just won't leave you alone, who's driving you bonkers, what you can do, it mightn't stop him texting you like crazy, but you can protect your well-being and your energy from being dragged down by their annoyance or whatever it happens to be, by putting like a force field, visualizing a force field around you where he cannot penetrate or she cannot penetrate and drag you down. So that's a visualization technique. We can see ourselves with sort of imagine a big iron ball coming around that's impenetrable, surrounds us, and no one can this guy can't get through, or this girl can't get through, and just destroy our happiness. Or if you want to be more social in your energy, you could imagine a rose gold sparkly energy all around you, a force field energy that attracts people to you, that brings in what you want, and maybe it has the capacity to repel what you don't want. I think visualization techniques are not utilized enough. Obviously, it's not going to change the behavior of another person, but that's something we can't control anyway. All we can change is how we are, how we respond energetically. So by using these visualization techniques like I described, you can protect your energy from the onslaught from bullies and energy vampires and so on. So you might like to try practicing those sorts of things to help buoy you up and create a higher vibration in the week ahead as well. So these are just some ideas to prepare you in readiness to clear your soul, in readiness to receive the blessing that's coming when Jupiter makes this conjunction on the 18th of November. A couple of weeks ago, I shared on my channel about my friend who's a really brilliant energy healer. If you haven't checked that video out, I do recommend popping over and having a look, because that's one of the resources we can utilize is people like my friend Don, who is an energy healer who works by distance, who is quite brilliant, and they're the kinds of things we can employ now to support us in readiness for this exciting event. Also, if you're struggling with energetic protection at this time, you could email me for a ceremony, a shamanic ceremony that you can practice in your own home to create protection, as well as that visualization technique. So if you're interested in that, send me a line, drop me a line, and I can scoot that email out to you to support you at this time too. But essentially what we're doing is we are creating a welcome space for the change and rebirth karmically that is represented by this. We are sending any issues light and love, not darkness. We are sending any issues, any people, any difficulties, any karma within us that we're experiencing. We're sending them light and love because we want to up level, and then we're moving on. And we are allowing blessings to fill the empty space that's left. So this is an exciting time. Let's have a look now at what it means for Jupiter at the Galactic Center in all signs. Well, it's going to give positive karmic rebirth for us if we're ready for it, like I've just described, if we've prepared our soul in whatever ways we feel we need to. It's going to give a combination of spiritual expansion and physical expansion, because Jupiter is manifesting. He is the planet of abundance, of growth, of expansion in the physical realm that we live in, yes, but he's also a highly spiritual planet. He represents our connection to spirit, connection to belief and faith. So it's in these realms that we're going to see a big growth, in our practical physical realm. The karmic results will play out there, but also in our spiritual belief, in our spiritual life. So it's a melding here of spirit and matter, not least of which because the Galactic Center is involved, and it is very much about birth and death. The spirit meets the physical as well, the Galactic Center. So we're getting a big energy hit of these influences this week. So this is going to tell us, when we go through each sign, it's going to tell us where we can receive karmic rewards and good luck this week, where we might see something manifest out of the blue that's just like winner, winner, chicken dinner, So it's going to help for us to know where Jupiter sits natally. I can't go into that for everyone. I mean, you could be Pisces rising and there could be 12 different houses that Jupiter falls in for you, as well as the houses that Jupiter rules. I'm not going to go into that for everyone. If you would like to know a little more about how this might affect you, get a one-question reading from me where we can address Jupiter and where it sits in your chart, and therefore how this might be playing out for you. So pop over to my website, guidingstar-astrology.com, and you'll be able to order a reading if you'd like to know more about that. So it's going to help to know where Jupiter sits natally. If you're aware of astrology and you know where your Jupiter sits and what it represents for you, then you'll be fine in that regard. But let's get cracking now, and we'll start, because they were so patient last week and we know they don't like to wait. We're going to start with Aries this week. Yay, I can hear you all cheering at the other end of the YouTube there. Yay, they don't have to wait this week. So Aries, we're looking at positive karmic rebirth and luck this week. And for you guys, it's falling in, where's my pointer? It's falling in the 9th house here. The 9th house has to do with all things Jupiterian. So belief, expansion of knowledge and awareness and understanding. So you're going to get a lot of karma about this. Your knowledge, your understanding, your belief systems are going to be karmically grown as a result of your past life experiences. So the spiritual realm for you is going to expand, but also the physical realm. For you Aries rising people, this is the house that is the luckiest in the horoscope. The ninth house for everybody is the luckiest house in the horoscope. So it is entirely possible that abundance might be yours, prosperity might be yours, these other Jupiterian physical realm qualities that are expanded as a result of your karmic past life good deeds. You might find that you're very lucky with regard to some kind of benefactor, because benefactors and inspirational figures are seen from the ninth house. So you might find that somebody comes into your life who really blesses and transforms your life this week as a result of karmic good deeds. So it might be someone that you interacted with. You mightn't even be aware of this. You may have interacted with them in a past incarnation, and now they've come back to bless you as a result of your good deeds for them. Just say you saved somebody on a battlefield. You're Aries, you're into courage and valor and whatever. And in a past life, you were on a battlefield and your best mate got his leg blown off right beside you, and you dragged him to safety, and he was able to go back home again and live a good, healthy life because you dragged him off the battlefield. I mean, there's some really good karma right there for you guys. Just an example. But because of that, in this incarnation now, maybe that guy comes back as a philanthropist who sees some sort of work you're doing and says, hey, I like what you're doing. Let me back you up here, because this is the house of philanthropy. It's the house of benefactors and gurus and inspirational figures, teachers and wise ones. Somebody might give you that bit of support, that bit of belief, that bit of backing that you've been longing for, and it's actually a result of karma. So these kinds of things can pop in to your life this week if you're Aries rising. Luck and good karma resulting from benefactors. Even father figures can be seen, perhaps not your actual father, but people who are fatherly towards you. That's also seen from the ninth house as well. Maybe your university lecturers are really kind to you and they give you, they review your thesis with grace and give you a very high result as a result of good karma, and it could also be, somebody in a spiritual realm who blesses you. One of my favorite movies is Only You, and in that film, Marissa Tomei is out in the Italian countryside and her car runs out of petrol and they're stuck. And then along comes, a ute load of nuns who fill up her petrol tank and keep going, and that's just a small scene out of the movie. But this is what we're looking at here, these people of faith, people of belief, doing some kind of karmic good deed back to you for maybe something you've done in a past lifetime, or maybe some belief or faith that you've held true to for many years, and then you get some karmic blessing, some karmic reward that comes your way. So that is what we're looking at. Now, also, it's interesting to note that Jupiter rules the 12th house for Aries rising. So this is going to be particularly karmic for you. Jupiter is your karmic ruler, the ruler of the 12th house. So for you guys, the karma is going to be significant. And what happens this week that benefits you, that brings luck and blessing and whatever your way, may actually have repercussions in the long term for you, because Jupiter rules the house of karma, and you'll be building further karma for yourself down the line through your response to what occurs and unfolds for you this week. Moving right along, let's look at Taurus. Taurus rising. If you happen to be Taurus rising, there we go. Jupiter is falling in your 8th house. So Jupiter is the 8th house lord. It rules Sagittarius, its own sign, but plus it also rules the 11th house for you if you're Taurus rising. So this can bring you luck and benefit after some sort of big transformational event. For example, this is Jupiter sitting at the Galactic Center in the house correlating to divorce, or legacies and wills that the money we receive from a will. It's other people's money. So you might have gone through a big crisis experience if you're Taurus rising, and getting divorced has been a nightmare for you, and it's been long and drawn out legal battle, boom, Jupiter on the Galactic Center. Karma for your good deeds and for your honesty and for your integrity, if you've been honest and integrous in this situation, and boom, you receive a divorce payout, or you receive, maybe you lovingly cared for a relative who was old and frail, and you were just there for them and supporting them, and making meals and cleaning the house and doing all those kind of beautiful, lovely, thoughtful things. And when they passed, boom, legacy of a will being left to you, like a estate being left to you or something. So it's out of trauma and crisis situations, such as a divorce or such as somebody being sick and dying, that we can be reborn very strongly with the Galactic Center here, but also that's what the 8th house represents. And it can bring you a lot of financial benefit for you guys. Easy access to deep healing is also available for you this week. And this is deep healing of the therapeutic, psychological kind. So if you're Taurus Rising, and you listen to the intro to this video, get on it, because you guys can really be transformed and up-leveled deeply this week through Jupiter's conjunction to the Galactic Center in the 8th house, which has to do with deep psychological healing. And this can also be very karmic for you and lucky for you. You might get the opportunity to attend, say, a meditation session with a friend, because Jupiter rules the house of friends, Pisces. And in doing so, you go to a meditation retreat with a friend or a session with a friend, and boom, you get an epiphany like you've never had before, a download of information received through your crown chakra that transforms your life and sets you on a whole new life path, a whole new life mission. You are reborn. So very exciting placement if you happen to be Taurus Rising for this. And it can help. Jupiter here can actually be a very big help with trauma and crisis. If you're going through something difficult, you might find that this week Jupiter conjunct the Galactic Center brings some sort of resolution or change or rebirth now into more blessing that takes you out the other side of the trauma that you've been suffering, which would be lovely manifestation of this energy. If you are Gemini Rising, then boom, you guys have this in your 7th and 10th house. This is where you can be lucky in the 7th house, and where you can receive karmic support. Jupiter is the Lord of the 7th house and also Lord of Pisces, the 10th house. What does this mean? Well, it means you can be very lucky in business, because Jupiter is ruling 2 houses that are correlated to business. This is business partnerships, connections that you make through clients and through business collaborations, like working with a marketer or working with an advertiser of some sort. This can be seen through here, and of course that's the 7th house, but the 10th house is your career and your worldly achievements and the things that you are working towards leaving a legacy in. So Jupiter is ruling these things. This is where you can receive luck and karmic support. So for example, let's say you've been developing a new a new platform. You want to share some sort of project with the world, some sort of a program or a webinar or something like that you want to get out there and you want to share with the world. Well, now during this, that's the legacy you want to leave. You want to be known for some wonderful program, wonderful new insight, wonderful new coaching facility that you are setting up or something. That's your legacy that you're hoping to leave, 10th house. And it's at this time that you might suddenly stumble across some sort of collaborative partnership that's going to take you there with a rocket launch. So, the karma, maybe somebody comes into your life who you did a karmic kind deed to in a past life. Maybe you were you were on a jury and somebody was being condemned on the jury, and your decision got them off and allowed them to go free because you believed they were innocent, and they were. And so through that karma, then, you're now able to receive, it should be the other way around. You were on the jury setting somebody else free who was innocent. And so now the karma comes back. Maybe that innocent party comes into your life and says, hey, I'm a marketer in this life. let me market your wonderful new product, your wonderful new webinar, your wonderful new platform. I know just how to put the gears in motion to get this out to the right people. Let's do this. I want to help you. And it's through this wonderful collaboration, this business partnership, that boom, you rocket launch into a beautiful new destiny as a result of karmic luck. Luckily, you came across this wonderful marketer who then took you to the next level. These kinds of things. You can be more optimistic now regarding your businesses. You can be more, you can receive more blessing this week because of Jupiter being here. It is also the house of marriage relationships, committed partnerships. So maybe through a marriage partner, you might receive some sort of karma or blessing or luck as well. Some good vibes, some good results. So this can be quite nice. It's also the 7th house where we see the results of our court cases. 6th house is our enemies. 7th house is court cases and their results. So, it all depends on where the Lord of your 7th house, Jupiter, sits in your natal chart and the aspects to it and so forth as to whether you're going to come out as the winner in a court case. But you're certainly going to be done some favors by having Jupiter at the Galactic Center this week. Things might suddenly start to shift in support of you and your court case with Jupiter conjunct the Galactic Center. This is if you are Gemini Rising, perhaps Gemini Sun, Gemini Moon as well to an extent too. So, moving along, we've got Cancer. Now, luck and karmic reward can come to you if you are Cancer through the 6th and 9th house and the conjunction of Jupiter with the Galactic Center here. So you will receive this week karmic results for the work that you have done, the efforts that you've put in. 6th house is our work, our daily routines, our habits, and the efforts that we put in to our ordinary life, our everyday life. So you can receive karmic reward for your work, from employees as well. You can receive karmic reward from them. They might, suddenly, you might have say 5 employees or something in an office who work for you, and through their amazing work, or maybe they're investigators or something, and they discover some, hidden money in somebody's account or something, and that changes the dynamic of whatever it is you're dealing with. And through your employees, you receive some sort of karmic reward, some sort of insight, some sort of knowledge that really supports you now. Maybe through helping others. Maybe it's in helping others in your life that you are now going to get rewarded. So if you've been someone who has helped the disadvantaged and the poor, maybe you've been even a life coach, helping people get their lives back on track again, showing compassion in a practical way, serving others, fixing problems, maybe working with people at a very low level in society, people who are not as educated as you, or who are suffering from health problems and these sorts of things. Through working with those people, through giving love to these people and serving and helping them fix their problems, through being humble yourself, good karma can come to you now. And if that's where you've been directing your energy of service to those sorts of things, you are going to see the results of this. And of course, this will be quite blessed for you guys, Cancer Rising, because Jupiter rules your 9th house as well as your 6th. So the 9th house is to be it's luck. It's the luckiest house. So you're going to receive more divine knowledge and wisdom, divine understanding. You're going to receive maybe benefactors who support you now because of the work that you've done. Maybe you established a not-for-profit or something, and some sort of philanthropist comes your way and really gives an injection of funds that helps you to achieve more and reach more people and support more people and help more people. So there can be a lot of blessing in realms of service and kindliness and generosity that you Cancer people are known for. When we have Jupiter conjunct the Galactic Center, there will be some karmic reward in this realm for you. If you are Leo rising, the moon will be in Leo on this day when Jupiter is at the Galactic Center, but you're going to get more luck and karmic reward from your children. So, your lovers, your creative expression through giving and receiving as well, giving and receiving love especially, this is where you're going to notice the rewards. So it might be that, something your children do gives you a great deal of pride. Now, I'm a Leo sun, and on this day, my son will be performing in the school play. There we go. Through my children, I'm receiving the reward of parental pride, which is a reward, and I know my son and I have been together in a past life before. So there is this interaction of karmic reward between the two of us frequently, and I'm blessing him by allowing him to rise up and, develop his acting abilities and giving him the opportunities to do that. And he is rewarding me through this motherly sense of pride as I see him come into his own and develop his own character and his own interests and his own strength, which is for him in the fields of dramatic art. But it's not only that, you could receive karmic rewards that are connected to fame in the fifth house. Maybe, in a past life you were a singer or something, and, maybe you were a singer in a past life, and there was some young person who just idolized you, and you were kind to them, and you allowed them to sort of apprentice to you and learn your techniques and learn your style and so on, and they went on to do very well. So you were a benefactor to somebody in a past life, and because of that karmic good deed, you were a famous person and you helped somebody else to rise up. Because of that, you can now be rewarded with some sort of fifth house thing. Fifth house is entertainment and popularity and celebrity and notoriety. You might be rewarded with an opportunity now that takes you into the spotlight in some way as a result of your past life good deeds and good endeavors. Love can even arrive now for you Leo people, and look for it in the little things. So it doesn't necessarily have to be that someone just arrives on your doorstep with a bunch of roses and a bottle of wine and, oh, where have you been all my life? It can be very little, it can be very subtle. It can be just the fact that the guy who sits next to you at work on the desk next to you offers to get you a coffee at morning tea break. He's going to the kitchen, can I get you a coffee? And you're like, wow, little acts of love can pop up and arrive in your life. Now, they're actually a karmic reward. So look for those things. Don't always be looking for the big. Look for the little things. And who knows where that little interaction of kindness might lead. Maybe you'll be having more than just coffee together before long. But that's something that can pop up in your life. Little acts of love, little acts of kindness that can be very, very noticeable this week. This is the house connected to those things. So look for them and make space in your heart for them to come in. When we create space in our lives, it's almost not that we get more acts of love in our life. It's just that we've got the space in our head and our heart to notice those acts of love, to be grateful for those acts of love and kindness. My son who's in this play, he's always bringing me cups of tea at night when I'm working late, which is quite often. He'll bring in cups of tea for me, and it's those kinds of really beautiful things that are like just a reward and a gift that make life sparkle. So keep an eye out for those. This is a house of joy and pleasure and delight, and they might be occurring in your life in even the subtlest of ways. Now, if we happen to be Virgo rising or Virgo sun or Virgo moon, if you like, some people like to know that it applies to them as well for their sun and moon, and it does, but to a lesser extent than the rising sign. Luck and karma will arrive in your life this week from the maternal line, because here is Jupiter in the sign that it rules, Sagittarius, conjunct with the Galactic Center, which is all about good karma being born into your life. And it's also, Jupiter is for you guys also the ruler, a bit awkward there, of your 7th house here as well. So we're looking at reward and karmic gain, luck and good fortune coming from your community, your maternal line, your mother's line, you know, the feminine line. Your parents even are seen from down here too. So, you know, both mum and dad might bring in some sort of blessing. Mum and dad might, you know, ring you up out of the blue and say, hey, you know, come over for lunch on Friday. We've got this, we won the meat tray at the local pub, you know, come over and we'll cook up a barbecue and you receive this blessing of, hey, I don't have to cook dinner for myself on the weekend, you know, something fun like that. But look, it can be bigger than that as well. Jupiter is about prosperity and expansion, but don't deny little things like that when they pop up as well. So some sort of blessing, some sort of luck, some sort of reward in the maternal line. Your home actually might also be a source of blessing for you this week. So, for example, you know, in Australia, aside from all the fires we've been having, it is spring and there's a whole lot of open gardens. You know, people can go and look in other people's gardens and there's open garden competitions and something, and it's your home, your physical bricks and mortar home and garden. You know, you could win the open garden competition. Some luck comes your way, some reward for all the effort and hard work you've put in towards caring for the environment, caring for your garden, maybe sort of encouraging the bees to be there and more ladybirds and things like that. Really, through your efforts in nature, which is connected to the 4th house, the environment, the earth is connected to the 4th house. Through that, you can receive reward. Maybe that looks like winning the local open garden competition. Or maybe somebody gifts you a beehive because you've been encouraging bees in your garden and someone says, hey, I've got an old beehive down the back of my shed. You know, do you want that? You can use it and you can have grow your own honey, make your own honey and so on. You're like, yeah, no worries. So it's little lucky breaks like that you might find popping up in your life this week through this karmic reward of Jupiter conjunct with the Galactic Center. There may also be, for you guys, an opportunity that arises for you to move overseas through this. And this is because Sagittarius is connected to other cultures. If it's not overseas, maybe you might get an opportunity to move to a different ethnic part of town or the city where you live or a nearby city or something like that. But Sagittarius is to travel big distances for the purposes of soul expansion. So when Jupiter conjuncts the Galactic Center, you might get the opportunity of a lifetime to move to another country, to, it might be a job opportunity, or it might be something connected to a partnership, a business partnership, or a marriage even, that takes you to another country that comes your way. But whatever it is, it's going to be about expansion of the soul, expansion of the mind, that occurs through perhaps living in another country or going to another ethnic area, and your life is never the same again. You are karmically reborn into blessing and opportunity because of that special piece of luck that comes your way and being able to do that. Just another way that might play out. There's many ways these things can play out. These are just a few. Now, the next sign is lucky Libra. Okay, we've got Libra with Mars there in the 1st house, and this puts Jupiter down in the 3rd house for you guys. So this is luck and karmic reward. Jupiter conjunct the Galactic Center represents luck and karmic reward through your neighbors, through your co-workers, through your teammates, through your siblings even. So these types of networks can actually bring reward for you this week. What might that look like? Well, it might look like, you know, your neighbor pops in one afternoon and they've made a chocolate cake, and they're like, you know what? I'm never going to eat all this. I just felt like making a cake. I don't know why, but here, I want you to have this chocolate cake. And you're like, wow, that's, you know, out of the blue, and woo, very nice. Thank you very much. You know, some act of kindness that's actually a karmic gift back to you, a lucky thing, you know. Maybe, you know, they bring a cake over and just so happens that you're having people around for supper that night. You're like, bonus. Now I've got a cake to give them with their cups of tea or their glass of wine or whatever. So it's through these people that you can receive reward. And an opportunity might come to you through connections, but also through communications, being online even beginning your own business is a good signal to begin your own business. Perhaps wait a couple more days until Mercury is no longer retrograde if that's something you want to do. But Jupiter here might give you the opportunities around establishing a new business. This is the house of new business. Maybe you'll have somebody who just pops into your life and says, hey, I'm a web designer. You need a website. Somebody told me you need a website. Look, I'm looking for practice. I'm studying web design at TAFE or at community college or something. And, I need some practice. Can I do your website? And you're like, yeah. So things to do with communication, connections, networks that are connected to skills like web design and social media management, things like that might just come your way, and you're like, man, what a lucky break. Thanks, Jupiter. Those sorts of things. So if you're Libra rising, these are some of the things that can manifest. But not only that, because Jupiter is also the ruling planet of your 6th house, so it is likely to be quite correlated to work. For example, someone pops up who says, I'll design you a free website, or let me manage your social media for 6 months or something. So something to do with your everyday work and your everyday routines, how you pay the bills, how you make money, and connecting with things like social media, marketing, working alongside other people, these kinds of opportunities that might come your way, and of course small business. A lot of the readings I do, I find I'm doing for people who really want to establish their own businesses, which is always seen from the 3rd house. So if you're interested in being independent and having your own small business, it's the 3rd house you need to look at. What does it say to you about the potential for doing that? And if you're Libra rising, well, the potential could be very lucky and very karmic for you this week in that realm, if that's what you're looking at. Okay, for Scorpio rising people, tell you, these little wings on my jacket keep sort of hooking on stuff. I'll think twice before I wear it for a video again. Okay, so if we're Scorpio rising, well, luck and karma comes through your own acts of generosity, because guess what? Jupiter is sitting in the 2nd house of money and resources that support your journey through life. And Jupiter also, if you're Scorpio rising, is the ruler of the 5th house, which is correlated to fortune. This is a money house, the 5th house. We don't often go into great detail about the 5th house being a money house, but there are 4 money houses: the 2nd, the 5th, the 8th, and the 11th. And here, Jupiter, for you Scorpio rising people, Jupiter, the planet of prosperity and abundance, and in this case, luck and good fortune from karmic good deeds, falls in, rules both the 2nd and the 5th house for you guys. So you will actually receive lucky breaks as a reward for your own generosity. So if you have been generous to others, if you've been giving, the nature of Jupiter, then through this conjunction at this very special karmic point, you can actually receive generosity back if you've been giving it. That's what karma is. If you've been, offering up kindness and so forth to the world, then you receive that back. You get opportunities to continue to be kind, but you also receive kindness back from the world as well. Or you start to see it more in your world around you. So the more generous you are, the more you can be rewarded. So, don't neglect the generosity in the lead up to the 18th of November. And the use of intuition for your financial ventures is really favored now this week in the lead up to this. Financial karma is really on your side. So listen to your intuition, and especially because of this lovely trine. I'll just hold the thing. Lovely trine from Uranus to Jupiter. Now Jupiter is intuition, and so is Uranus. They both have connections to being intuitive. Jupiter's like the angel on your shoulder whispering, do that, or don't go over there. It's whispering guidance. It's the guru, the guide. Jupiter's the angel on your shoulder. And Uranus is the divine downloads. Boof. Oh my God, yes, I've got goosebumps. That's what I have to do. Both are intuition, but in different manners, in different ways. So listen to your intuition, Scorpio rising people, around money and investments and finances and speculations and taking risks. Fifth house, which is ruled by Jupiter, is all about taking risks. So listen to that and trust your intuition this week, and you'll tend to land on your feet because of this financial karma being on your side right now. So lucky Scorpios, it could be a good week for money for you. You might make an investment in the stock market or something and it goes really, really well for you. Or because you've been, you gave money to the homeless guy on the street so he could buy a meal or a blanket or something, then you might find that some sort of, you suddenly get some sort of shelter or reward or something. Someone gives you they're cleaning out their cupboard and they give you a massive big box full of the, Chanel clothing that they don't fit into anymore, and you can have it because I've hardly worn it, and here's a Chanel suit and, whatever. You can receive some beautiful karmic reward for the generosity you've given to others. The second house is our resources, like food, like clothing, like shelter, and our actual money too. So lots of potential for beautiful financial and resources rewards for you guys, Scorpio. Now, if you're Sagittarius, well, obviously this is falling in your first house this week. So you, more than any other sign, can receive luck and karmic reward for your journey. For, your appearance can be what brings you some karmic reward this week. You're walking down the street, you hear all these. I mean, when I was growing up, I was fascinated by the story of Claudia Schiffer, who was just, hanging out at a cafe or something like that. And she was spotted by a talent scout who said, hey, you should pop into this model agency and see how you go. And she did, and then became a very, very famous and much loved model. So this is the kind of thing. Your appearance can bring you good karmic reward this week. Your looks. Maybe you'll be spotted on the street and asked to be America's Next Top Model or something. But that can certainly happen. This week, Jupiter conjunct the Galactic Center, karmic reward based on your appearance, which is the first house. You can also become known, if that's something you desire to become known. You can become known for your face and your persona. Jupiter in the first house at the Galactic Center for Sagittarius rising. So maybe you have been, hello Eleanor, maybe you've been writing a wonderful book, and it's through your persona this week that you can get the lucky break that you've been hanging out for. By putting your gorgeous personality out there, you can actually then receive some sort of a blessing and a karmic oomph, a rocket launch into good fortune for you guys. Jupiter conjunct the Galactic Center. So, if you've got a beautiful Sagittarian bubbly personality, put it out there, jump online, do a video or do a session at a library, or, go in and make that first move with somebody, initiate. Like the first house is initiation. So if you make a first move to sort of go and shake somebody's hand and introduce yourself, put your best foot forward, put your face forward, put your persona forward in some way, that's where you might find you get a lucky karmic break that just sets you up for good things to just tumble out as life goes on over the next couple of years. So, big rewards are available to you guys that are going to support you in reaching your destiny, because this is also the house of your life journey, how you journey through life and what you experience. Now, by taking the initiation of the first house to start something, put yourself forward, you can really create. Watch for synchronicities if you do this, and just trust, because you're good at that. Sagittarius is very trusting. And Jupiter here can really expand your capacity to trust in the goodness of the universe, and enjoy the adventure that you're on with this. Okay, so for Capricorn peeps, here we are. Capricorn people, well, luck and karmic reward can come to you this week through private, hidden things, because Sagittarius happens to be your 12th house, which is things that are hidden, things that aren't revealed to our consciousness yet. It's also karma. The 12th house has to do with escaping from ordinary life and divinely inspired creativity as well. So your reward comes to you in maybe private and hidden ways. You might not even be aware of the rewards that are happening around you, but they are. So, don't be surprised if you're Capricorn rising, if this seems a bit misty and a bit foggy, like, I don't really know what Kesenya's talking about here. I haven't seen anything crop up in my life that's lucky or, that has rewards for me. It may be very well unfolding for you Capricorn people in ways that aren't tangible, that you can't quite grasp because it is connected to karma from your 12th house. This is a placement this week for you where you might be getting these spiritual epiphanies and revelations that are, karmic insights into, this is a week for Capricorn rising people when you just might feel compelled all of a sudden to start painting. And certainly when I went through my divorce, it was very much divine downloads that healed me. And I started painting and painting and painting. The works of art weren't that flash, I'm not saying I'm a very good artist, but it was cathartic. So similar things can happen to you. We're talking karma here. This is the house of karma. This is Jupiter, planet of good karma, at a very powerful death and rebirth karmic consciousness point. So for you guys, you might be receiving, these downloads that, hey, I've just got to start painting. I've got this idea for a painting. I've just got to do it. And it's for your healing from past life karma. It's for your catharsis in some way. And you might not even be aware that that's what's going on. But that's what Jupiter can bring you. There is luck. And this is lucky. People think luck is winning Tats Lotto. It's not. It's when the universe conspires to support you on your journey. That's luck. That's synchronicity. That's karmic blessing. And if doing a work of art is going to help heal your soul and help you move and progress forward in life, then that's karmic reward. So that might happen for you. You might write a song that just gets some emotional feeling out from inside you that is so healing and so divinely inspired. You might be the only one who ever hears the song you write, but it might transform your world. So this is the kind of karma that can happen for you big time. This is beautiful karmic support. And it's very personal karmic support. It's very deep and enriching karmic support. You might also, if you're Capricorn rising, get the opportunity to go overseas, to do some travel, to escape. And in doing so, there is some karmic reward associated there as well. For example, maybe, a friend says, I'm going to Hawaii and I've got 2 spare tickets because my mum and dad pulled out at the last minute. Do you and your boyfriend want to come with me? Because otherwise they're going to go to waste. And you're like, yeah, karmic reward that gives you an escape from ordinary life, from reality, and, connects you back to your soul and your spirit through having a really good holiday in Hawaii. Lucky you. So these sorts of things can be very, very beautiful. Beautiful karma for Capricorn rising people. Now, Aquarius rising. Boom. For you guys, luck and karmic reward can come for you in financial realms. And this is probably good news to a lot of Aquarians. But if you look here, Jupiter is in the 11th house, which is to do with our rewards and gains. The rewards we get from the efforts we've been making towards achieving in the world, our worldly achievements, and our ambitions, the rewards for our ambitions and our career endeavors and so forth. 11th house. That's where all this karmic energy is playing out. Jupiter conjunct the Galactic Center. But Jupiter also rules Pisces. For an Aquarius rising person, this is the 2nd house. And the 2nd house is our resources for living, our money, our food, our clothes, our shelter, our transport, our cars and things, the things that we need to get by in life and support our body's journey. So this is this is a yoga for wealth, to be honest, to have these two houses ruled by the same planet. And what a planet to be ruled by! Jupiter, the planet of expansion, abundance, prosperity, wealth, great wealth. So for you guys, the karma can play out for you in the realm of financial, material rewards for you this week. There's potential for big gains as a result of some sort of good karma. Maybe in early life, you were very generous with your friends. I mean, the 11th house is friendships as well. And maybe you've always been somebody who's generous to a fault with your friends. We all want to go and see Dolly Parton in concert, and I paid for everybody because I wanted my friends to be with me. I wanted to have this great group experience, and so I was generous and paid for everybody, and we all went and saw Dolly sing. And those kinds of generous giving activities that now bring home good karma to you. So, this could be rewards and karmic rewards in terms of financial gain from groups, from, humanitarian causes even, from, just from the money that you earn as well, that you might suddenly get a promotion. It might be rewards in terms of honors. Suddenly, you win a competition, or you get some sort of, like I said, promotion, or you awarded an MBE or something like that, where you are honored and you gain in some way with recognition, perhaps. So big gains as a result of your good karma, the karma of generosity and kindness, which is all very Jupiterian, now can come your way in very material, tangible ways, financially or with resources, or also with honors as well. It's also the 11th house, the house of friendships. So your friends might reward you in some way. They might honor you. They might throw a surprise party for you because you've always, been there for them in their dark times or something, or, they just want to honor you for some reason. So your friends can reward you. Your friends can back you now and give you some sort of, support or something that's very karmic. Maybe you've been in some sort of karmic situation with in a past life with someone who's now your friend, and they let's use an example here. Maybe in a past life you were in a philosophy school in ancient Greece with somebody, and you really helped somebody else who perhaps wasn't quite across the mathematics that you were looking at in this ancient Greek school where you studied philosophy and mathematics and science and astrology and things. And, you helped them to understand these complex problems and whatever. And now in this life, this person's your best mate. They're your friend in this life. You've done many lifetimes together. And there's karma between you. And so they now, maybe you're in a situation when you're in a group together, like you're in some sort of a club, and they put your name forward as the new treasurer of the club, and you really want that position. You really want to be head of the school board or something like that, and this person backs you. And it's actually, you don't realize it, but it's a karmic reward and a result for something fabulous you've done for them in a past life. There's just one sort of crazy hypothetical example there, but certainly rewards can come through friends that are actually quite karmic in your life. So that's if you're Aquarius rising. It could be a very good week for you financially and in terms of receiving some sort of recognition and rewards. Finally, ever patient Pisces. There we go. For those of us who are Pisces rising, then our luck and rewards, that's quite karmic this week and might play out for many, many months, maybe even years ahead as a result of what happens now. It's occurring for us with relation to our first house, our journey through life, our physical appearance, how we show up in the world, our face and our persona. And it's also correlating to career, to how we shine in the world, how we show up in the world, what we do, the legacy that we hope to leave. Now, our karmic reward can come through leadership. We might get an opportunity to be put in a position of leadership. this week that's actually a karmic reward. We might get invited to speak at a certain seminar or something that's going to really help us on our career trajectory and give us some recognition and notoriety and social status in doing so. Those sorts of opportunities can come our way as well. So it's through being inclusive, through being kind, through being generous in our leadership roles that we do have already, that we then will see karmic rewards as a result, and we will step up. So for those of us who are Pisces rising, keep your integrity in your leadership roles. Keep being kind, keep being generous, because it's those acts of goodness that will then result in karmic reward for us down the track, but also at this time when Jupiter is conjunct the Galactic Center too. So careers that, if we're in careers that are personally meaningful to us, like I would say that's the case for me in my work as an astrologer, it's very meaningful to me and very rewarding as well. So if we're in a career that's very meaningful to us, we're doing our Dharma, we're in our Dharma, we have high ideals for how we're going to help humanity, then we can see luck manifest for Pisces rising people. Also, your career can take you to perhaps a foreign country now, because Sagittarius is to do with other cultures, other ways of life, and other countries. And Pisces, which is all about your life journey, correlates to being overseas or far away from everything that's familiar. And so for those of us who are Pisces rising, it's through this conjunction of Jupiter with the Galactic Center that we might start to see some luck regarding perhaps going overseas. So that invite to speak at a seminar might come through, that's going to help you rise up in your social status. But it might be for you, you might be asked to speak in Tokyo or somewhere really foreign and different to where you actually live. This can come your way. More visibility, more social status, more career recognition and authority are the karmic rewards for you guys that could manifest for you this week. So keep an eye out for ways in which that plays out in your life, because that's what Jupiter at the Galactic Center will be doing for you. And the results are likely to last a long way into the future, the karmic reward for your good deeds. So that is our Astro Weather Report for this week, looking at the benefic karma of Jupiter conjunct the Galactic Center and what that might manifest for you in big and small ways in the week ahead. So thanks so much for joining me. We will close with a little prayer of gratitude to the universe. Energy of love, we just say thank you for this beautiful universe we are in, this beautiful galaxy, the Milky Way Galaxy that we are a part of. And we thank you that Jupiter is making this beautiful karmic connection this week. May our hearts and souls and minds be open to receiving the karmic rewards that are available to us all. Help us to know what to do to make space for those things in our life. And may we be receptive to the good things coming in and giving of kindness and support and love outward to people who need it. And so it is. Thanks so much for joining me this week. I'll have another Astro Weather Report for you next week.